So you just bought a Hollywood film empire. You wake up, but your office is not inside a skyscraper. It is inside a movie studio. Outside your window, hundreds of people are creating worlds that do not exist yet. A futuristic city rises from a soundstage. A medieval kingdom is being built across thousands of square feet of artificial land. A costume worth more than a luxury car sits behind glass, waiting for tomorrow's filming. Your phone lights up. It is from a director asking for your approval on the next billion-dollar franchise. The second message is from an actor whose face is recognized in every country on Earth. You walk through the studio gates. The same gates where legends once walked through now open for you. You are not just watching Hollywood. You own a piece of the machine that creates the dreams. It gives you something far more powerful than money. It gives you the ability to create the world everyone else only watches. You are no longer sitting in a theater waiting for the lights to go dark. You are sitting in the room where the worlds are born. A writer brings you an idea that exists only as a few pages of imagination. A director explains a universe nobody has ever seen. A producer shows you a character that could become the next global icon. And before hundreds of millions of people ever discover it, you decide whether that world gets created. Want to build a superhero universe that lasts for decades? You can. Want to create an entire fantasy kingdom with its own history, creatures, languages, and mythology? You can. Want to turn a small idea into a global franchise with movies, games, merchandise, and theme parks? You own the machine capable of making it happen. But the fantasy goes beyond creating stories. Because Hollywood does not only create movies, it creates legends. When you own a Hollywood company, you are no longer simply watching stars rise. You are standing beside the machine that creates them. The unknown actor who becomes the face of a generation. The director whose name becomes legendary. The character that becomes recognized in every country on Earth. Their journey could begin inside a building you own. Your company becomes the place where dreams come searching for permission. And for a billionaire, there is another level of power. You can become part of the story. Your name appears before the movies millions of people watch. Your company logo appears before the opening scene. The same red carpets where celebrities arrive become places where you are welcome. You are no longer attending culture. You are helping shape it. Imagine walking through a studio where thousands of artists are building something that started as a thought in your mind. A planet nobody has seen. A civilization nobody imagined. A character that exists because you approved a meeting years earlier. That is the ultimate Hollywood fantasy. Not owning a mansion. Not owning a yacht. Those things only give you a place to live. Hollywood gives you something different. It gives you the ability to place your fingerprints on the imagination of the world. But that is only the dream, because the reality of owning Hollywood is far stranger. A Hollywood company is not simply a collection of movie sets and famous actors. It is a machine that turns billions of dollars of risk into cultural attention. And that machine is incredibly expensive. The real question is not whether you can afford to buy the studio. The real question is whether you can afford everything required to keep the dream alive. Because Hollywood does not sell movies. Hollywood sells attention. And attention is one of the most expensive resources on Earth. A single decision can create billions or destroy hundreds of millions overnight. So how much does it actually cost to own a piece of the dream machine? The entry point depends on how much of Hollywood you want. At the smallest level, you can buy an independent production company. For around $10 million to $100 million, you might own a creative team, a small library of films, and the ability to produce movies. You have the keys to a workshop, but not the kingdom. The next level is a successful studio label. Around $500 million to $2 billion can buy a company with recognizable talent relationships, existing intellectual property, and a history of producing commercial projects. Now you are no longer making individual films. You are buying a pipeline. Above that sits a major Hollywood studio. This is where billionaires enter the arena. A major studio with decades of movies, television divisions, international distribution, and valuable franchises can cost $5 billion to $15 billion or more. You are not buying buildings. You are buying generations of stories. At the highest level, you are not buying a studio. You are buying an entertainment empire. Studio, streaming platform, theme parks, licensing, global brands. These acquisitions can reach tens of billions of dollars, a price tag large enough to buy sports teams, skyscrapers, and entire companies. One purchase, one entertainment universe. So what exactly are you buying? You are buying intellectual property. Intellectual property means ideas and creations that can generate value long after they are made. A movie is released once, but a successful character can earn money for decades. A superhero can become toys, video games, theme park attractions, streaming shows, collectibles. A fictional world can become a permanent business. That is why billionaires do not only see movies, they see assets that can live longer than companies. But here is the part most people never imagine. Owning Hollywood does not mean money automatically appears. Before $1 of profit arrives, the machine is already burning cash. A major film can cost $200 million to produce. Marketing can add another $100 million or more. A single blockbuster can require $300 million before audiences even know it exists. And you might spend years developing projects that never reach a theater. Writers are paid, directors are hired, scripts are rewritten, sets are built. Entire productions can be canceled after millions are spent. The lights stay on even when the dream never reaches the screen. A major studio operation can spend hundreds of millions every year maintaining employees, production facilities, technology systems, and development teams. Hollywood is not a factory where every product succeeds. It is closer to a casino where you own the table. You can win billions, but you must survive every losing hand. And that leads to the hidden trapdoor. The biggest danger in Hollywood is not making a bad movie. It is losing attention. A company can own famous characters. It can own historic studios. It can own valuable archives. But none of that matters if people stop caring. The true currency of Hollywood is not film. It is obsession. A franchise is valuable because millions of people emotionally attach themselves to it. Once that connection disappears, the asset can collapse. This is why entertainment ownership is so difficult. You can control the budget, you can control the marketing, you can control the company, but you cannot force the world to love a story. Now remember the fantasy from the beginning. You thought you bought a machine that creates dreams. And you did. But here is where the money actually comes from. The movie itself is only the beginning. The real value comes from everything built around it. A successful franchise can become a universe. A character becomes merchandise. A story becomes a game. A movie becomes a streaming subscription. A fictional world becomes a physical destination. Disney understood this model better than almost anyone. The magic is not just the film. The magic is creating something people want to return to again and again. That is the hidden economics. You are not selling 2 hours of entertainment. You are building an emotional asset. And emotional assets can become incredibly powerful. Now consider what happens when the machine fails. In 2018, the movie studio world watched the collapse of a major Hollywood dream when the company behind the ambitious film universe attempt around the dark universe failed after its first major release. The studio had invested heavily into creating a connected franchise designed to compete with other cinematic universes. The idea was enormous. The potential revenue was enormous. But audiences did not connect. The planned universe disappeared almost immediately. Millions of dollars were spent building something that people simply did not want. The lesson was brutal. Money can build a world, but money cannot guarantee that anyone wants to live inside it. Now walk through the math. Imagine you own a major studio. In an optimistic year, your franchises perform strongly. Your films generate $2 billion in revenue globally. Streaming, licensing, merchandise, and other businesses add another $1 billion. Your total revenue reaches $3 billion. After production costs, marketing, employees, and operations, you might keep several $100 million in profit. Now change one variable. Your biggest movie fails. Instead of earning $1 billion globally, it earns $300 million. Marketing costs remain. Production costs remain. Employees still need to be paid. The same studio that looked like $1 billion machine suddenly faces hundreds of millions in lost value. The difference is not a small mistake. It is the difference between a cultural phenomenon and a forgotten experiment. A Hollywood company is not a movie factory. It is a machine that transforms imagination into influence.